Inner peace is often seen as a soft or abstract concept, but in truth it is the foundation of everything we desire in life. Without peace inside, happiness feels temporary, success feels empty, and even love feels incomplete. Imagine carrying a restless storm within your heart. No matter how much wealth you gain, how many achievements you collect, or how much approval you receive from others, that storm will cloud everything. But when the mind and heart are calm, when the inner self is free from constant noise and conflict, then even small things in life bring immense joy. A simple meal tastes better, a quiet evening feels like a blessing, and success, whether big or small, brings gratitude instead of greed. Inner peace is not the absence of problems, but the presence of balance and acceptance while facing them. Most people chase happiness outwardly. They believe that once they get a certain job, a certain amount of money, a specific relationship, or social recognition, then they will finally be happy. But countless examples prove otherwise. People who have everything externally often feel miserable inside, while those with simple lives can radiate contentment. The secret lies in the state of the inner world. Inner peace makes you resilient against external ups and downs. It acts like an anchor in the stormy sea of life, keeping you stable when waves of challenges try to pull you down. To understand why inner peace is so foundational, think about the way the human mind works. A restless mind is full of doubts, comparisons, fears, and judgments. Such a mind never allows you to rest in the moment. It always pushes you toward the next worry or desire. Even in moments of success, this mind whispers, "What if it doesn't last? What if others achieve more? What if you fail tomorrow?" This is why success without peace feels shallow. Inner peace quiets this constant chatter. It gives you the ability to enjoy achievements without being enslaved by them, and to face failures without being destroyed by them. Another aspect of inner peace is that it creates clarity. When the heart is calm, decisions become wiser, relationships become smoother, and opportunities are seen more clearly. A disturbed mind can't focus or create lasting solutions. For example, when anger controls you, the words you speak often create damage that later becomes regret. But when peace governs you, your words carry healing and wisdom. When fear dominates, your actions become limited and defensive. But when peace dominates, your actions become creative and bold. In this way, inner peace is not just a spiritual luxury, it is a practical power that improves every area of life. It is also important to recognize that inner peace is not something you wait for, it is something you cultivate. People think, "I'll be at peace when my life is perfect." But life never becomes perfect according to our expectations. There will always be challenges, uncertainties, and unexpected turns. Peace is a skill we develop by training our mind and heart. It begins with acceptance. Accepting the present as it is, accepting ourselves with both strengths and flaws, and accepting that we can't control everything. This acceptance doesn't mean passivity. It means working for change without being trapped by resistance and frustration. One powerful practice for building inner peace is gratitude. When you focus on what you already have, rather than what you lack, your heart becomes calm. Gratitude shifts your attention away from endless desire to present blessings. Another practice is mindfulness, paying attention to the present moment without judgment. This helps the mind stop wandering to past regrets or future anxieties. Even a few minutes of stillness each day, where you focus on your breath or a simple activity, can reduce inner restlessness. Inner peace also transforms relationships. When you are at peace, you are less reactive, less controlling, and more compassionate. Conflicts shrink because you no longer feel the need to prove your worth or win every argument. You listen better, You forgive easier, and you connect deeper. Relationships thrive when individuals bring calmness instead of chaos to them. In contrast, when inner turmoil dominates, even love can turn into constant drama, misunderstanding, and dissatisfaction. The connection between peace and success is equally deep. True success is not just measured by wealth or status but by the ability to enjoy and sustain it. Many people reach high positions but collapse under stress because they never cultivated peace inside. On the other hand, a peaceful person can turn small successes into lasting joy because they are not enslaved by comparison or fear. They see success as a journey, not just a destination, and this attitude prevents burnout and disappointment. Inner peace also connects us to something higher than ourselves. Whether one calls it spirituality, faith, or simply awareness of life's greater flow, peace allows us to sense that we are part of a bigger picture. This perspective brings humility and resilience. Problems no longer feel like punishments but like lessons. Failures no longer feel like the end but like directions guiding us toward growth. With this outlook, peace is not easily shaken, because it is rooted in trust that life has meaning beyond momentary struggles. Many people confuse temporary comfort with peace. Comfort comes from entertainment, distractions, or material indulgence. It gives relief for a short time, but once it fades, the restlessness returns. Inner peace, however, is lasting because it comes from within. It does not depend on circumstances but on the way you relate to them. For example, two people may face the same problem. One panics and suffers, while the other remains calm and solves it wisely. The difference lies in the inner state, not in the outer situation. In daily life, cultivating inner peace requires discipline. It means setting aside time to rest the mind, avoiding unnecessary negativity, practicing forgiveness, simplifying priorities, and surrounding yourself with positive influences. It also means letting go of excessive attachment to results. When you give your best effort but release the obsession with outcome, peace naturally arises. You realize that your value does not depend on success or failure but on the integrity of your actions. Ultimately, inner peace is the soil where happiness and success can grow. Without it, happiness turns into fleeting pleasure and success into exhausting ambition. With it, even simple living feels rich, and great achievements feel meaningful. Inner peace does not remove challenges, but it changes your relationship with them. Instead of resisting life, you flow with it. Instead of fearing the future, you trust it. Instead of regretting the past, you learn from it. This timeless secret is simple but powerful. Take care of your inner world, and your outer world will transform. Your thoughts are the invisible seeds from which the garden of your life grows. Every action, every choice, and every experience you encounter is rooted in the way you think. The world around you is not only shaped by external circumstances but also by the lens through which your mind interprets those circumstances. If you believe life is unfair, you will constantly find proof of unfairness. If you believe opportunities are everywhere, you will begin to notice doors opening that you previously ignored. This is why people say that your thoughts create your reality. They act as a filter, shaping your perception and guiding your behavior, ultimately deciding what kind of life you live. The power of thoughts lies in their ability to influence emotions. A single thought can create joy, anger, fear, or hope. For instance, remembering a painful incident can bring tears instantly, even if the event happened years ago. Similarly, imagining a future success can fill you with excitement and motivation before anything has actually happened. This shows how thoughts, although intangible, directly shape the quality of your inner life. And because emotions drive actions, Your outer life is a reflection of what you consistently think inside. Consider two people facing the same challenge, such as losing a job. One person thinks, "I am a failure, nothing ever works out for me." This thought breeds hopelessness, leading to inaction and possibly more struggles. Another person thinks, "This is tough, but maybe it's a chance to start something better." That thought creates resilience, encouraging them to take new steps and eventually succeed. The situation is identical, but the outcomes are worlds apart because of the thoughts chosen in the moment. The human brain has a tendency to confirm what it believes. This is called the confirmation bias. If you think negatively about yourself, your mind will constantly highlight your weaknesses and ignore your strengths. If you think positively and constructively, your mind will notice opportunities, solutions, and supportive people around you. In this way, thoughts act like magnets, attracting experiences that match their frequency. When you repeatedly think of fear and failure, you unconsciously act in ways that make those fears come true. When you think of confidence and growth, you create conditions for them to manifest. It is also worth noting that thoughts do not exist in isolation, they create patterns. A single negative thought might not harm much, but when repeated over time, it builds a mindset. That mindset then becomes a habit of seeing the world in a certain way. If you feed your mind with worry every day, worry becomes your default lens. If you feed it with gratitude, gratitude becomes your natural response to life. This is why people emphasize the importance of affirmations, positive self-talk, and mental discipline. They are not mere motivational tricks, they are tools to reprogram the way you perceive reality. Another important aspect is that thoughts are deeply connected to self-image. How you think about yourself sets the boundaries of what you allow yourself to experience. A person who constantly thinks, "I am not good enough," may avoid opportunities, fearing rejection, and as a result, lives a limited life. In contrast, someone who thinks, "I can learn, I can grow, and I am capable," may step into challenges and achieve far more. The reality in each case is not determined by external circumstances but by the thoughts that shape decisions and actions. This principle extends to health as well. Studies have shown that people with positive outlooks often recover faster from illness and maintain stronger immune systems. Stressful and negative thoughts create physical tension, weaken the body, and lead to disease. Peaceful and hopeful thoughts relax the body, improve energy, and support healing. In this sense, thoughts are not only shaping emotional and social realities but also biological reality. The influence of thoughts is visible in relationships too. If you think others are untrustworthy or hostile, you will interact with them defensively, which may cause them to respond with distance or suspicion. If you think people are generally kind and approachable, you will treat them with warmth, leading them to respond the same way. Over time, your thoughts about people become your lived reality with them. Relationships thrive or suffer based on the mental seeds you plant in them. Of course, this does not mean that simply thinking positively will magically remove all challenges. Life still has difficulties, but your thoughts decide whether those difficulties become stepping stones or stumbling blocks. Positive thinking is not about denying problems but about facing them with strength and creativity. Negative thinking, on the other hand, makes problems appear larger and your own abilities smaller. In many cases, the true barrier is not the problem itself but the thought that, "I cannot handle this." Changing that thought can change everything. Training the mind to think constructively requires awareness. Most people allow thoughts to run unchecked, like a wild horse. The first step is to observe your thoughts without judgment. Notice the patterns. Do you often think in terms of fear, comparison, or doubt? Or do you think in terms of growth, possibility, and gratitude? Once you notice the patterns, you can gently replace unhelpful thoughts with empowering ones. This is not about forcing fake positivity but about choosing thoughts that support your growth instead of sabotaging it. For example, instead of thinking, "I always fail," you can shift to, "I didn't succeed this time, but I can learn and try again." Instead of thinking, "People don't like me," you can shift to, "I am learning how to connect better, and the right people will appreciate me." Over time, these shifts create a new reality because your actions and energy begin to align with them. Visualization is another powerful way thoughts create reality. When athletes mentally rehearse winning a race, their brains activate the same neural pathways as if they were physically running. This mental training improves actual performance. Similarly, when you visualize success in your goals, you prepare your mind and body to act in ways that make it happen. Visualization is essentially directing your thoughts to build the future before it arrives. At a deeper level, thoughts also connect to the universal principle of intention. When your thoughts are focused and aligned with genuine intention, they carry immense creative power. History is filled with individuals who imagined possibilities no one else could see, and through persistent thought and action, they turned those visions into reality. What begins as a thought often becomes an invention, a movement, or a transformation in society. Ultimately, the truth that your thoughts create your reality reminds us of responsibility. You may not control every external event, but you do control how you think about it. That choice makes all the difference. If you choose thoughts of fear, doubt, and limitation, you will live in a small cage of your own making. If you choose thoughts of courage, gratitude, and possibility, you will expand into a reality filled with meaning and joy. The outer world reflects the inner one, and by mastering your thoughts, you master the direction of your life. Balance and gratitude together form the secret formula for a fulfilling life. Balance means living in harmony with yourself and your surroundings, while gratitude means appreciating the blessings you already have instead of endlessly chasing what you don't. When these two qualities work together, life feels whole and complete. Without balance, you live in extremes: too much work, too much stress, too much indulgence, or too much neglect. Without gratitude, you live in dissatisfaction, always restless for the next achievement or possession. But when you balance your priorities and cultivate thankfulness, even ordinary days become extraordinary. Balance is not about dividing everything equally but about giving each area of life its proper place. Think of life as a wheel, with several spokes: health, relationships, work, spiritual growth, and personal joy. If one spoke is much longer than the others, the wheel becomes uneven and cannot roll smoothly. In the same way, when you devote all your energy to one area, such as career, while ignoring health or relationships, life becomes unstable. True fulfillment requires that you pay attention to each part, maintaining harmony instead of excess or neglect. For example, working hard is valuable, but if it destroys your health or strains your family ties, success turns bitter. Similarly, caring only for relationships but ignoring personal growth leaves you unfulfilled. Balance ensures that no part of life is sacrificed completely for another. Achieving balance also means managing inner states. Many people think balance is about time management alone, but it also involves emotional and mental alignment. For instance, a balanced person can pursue ambition without being consumed by greed, enjoy pleasures without being enslaved by them, and face challenges without falling into despair. Balance gives stability, so that external circumstances, whether highs or lows, do not throw you into extremes. Imagine a seesaw. Without balance, life swings wildly up and down. With balance, it steadies and becomes sustainable. Gratitude complements balance by transforming your perspective. No matter how balanced your life becomes, without gratitude you may still feel empty. Gratitude shifts attention from what is missing to what is present. It turns small blessings into treasures. The simple act of eating a meal, walking under the sky, or having a supportive friend becomes a source of joy when seen with grateful eyes. Instead of living in constant dissatisfaction, gratitude teaches you to pause and recognize abundance. And the more you practice gratitude, the more life seems to offer reasons to be thankful. This is not magic but perception. You notice and value what you might otherwise overlook. When balance and gratitude meet, a deep sense of fulfillment arises. For example, imagine someone who balances work and family life well. If they also practice gratitude for both, thankful for their job opportunities and thankful for the presence of loved ones, they experience contentment far greater than someone who has more but fails to value it. Gratitude ensures that balance does not feel like sacrifice. Instead of thinking, "I must reduce work time for family," you think, "I am grateful I can give time to both." This mindset makes balance joyful rather than forced. Balance also prevents the illusion that happiness lies only in one extreme. Many people chase wealth believing it will solve everything, while others reject material success completely and still feel unsatisfied. The truth is not in extremes but in integration. Earning while maintaining integrity, enjoying pleasures while practicing moderation, achieving success while staying humble. Balance makes sure life's energies do not drain into one direction while leaving others empty. When paired with gratitude, even modest success feels rich because you see its value. Health is another area where balance and gratitude intersect. Overworking without rest harms the body, while laziness without discipline weakens it too. Balanced living means proper nourishment, exercise, rest, and activity. Gratitude deepens this by reminding you to appreciate your body as it is. Instead of criticizing appearances, gratitude makes you thankful for the gift of movement, sight, breath, and strength. This thankfulness motivates you to care for health not out of dissatisfaction but out of respect. A balanced and grateful approach to health leads to vitality and peace. Relationships too thrive on this principle. Balance means giving love without losing yourself, listening without silencing your own needs, and supporting without overburdening. Gratitude enriches this balance by allowing you to value people for who they are, instead of constantly focusing on flaws or unmet expectations. When you appreciate the kindness, presence, and even small efforts of others, relationships deepen naturally. Balance prevents burnout in relationships, and gratitude keeps them alive with warmth. In work and ambition, balance ensures you do not sacrifice all joy for future success. Many people miss the present moment because they are constantly preparing for tomorrow. A balanced approach means working with dedication but also making time for rest, hobbies, and relationships. Gratitude enhances this by allowing you to celebrate small victories instead of waiting for a final grand achievement. You begin to see progress as meaningful, not just the destination. This combination makes the journey enjoyable rather than exhausting. Spiritually, balance means blending inner reflection with outer action. Spending all time in contemplation without living practically creates disconnection, while chasing only material gain without reflection leads to emptiness. Gratitude nurtures spirituality by making you aware of the unseen gifts of life, breath, consciousness, love, and existence itself. Gratitude itself becomes a spiritual practice, reminding you that life is not just a struggle but a blessing. This awareness grounds you in humility and peace. The lack of balance and gratitude often shows up as stress, emptiness, or dissatisfaction. A person may have financial success but poor health, or loving relationships but no sense of personal growth. Others may have abundance but constantly compare themselves to those with more, leaving them ungrateful. This proves that external conditions alone cannot create fulfillment. What creates fulfillment is the harmony of balanced living, combined with the inner richness of gratitude. Practicing balance and gratitude is a daily discipline. It begins with awareness, noticing which parts of life you neglect, and choosing to adjust them. It continues with conscious choices, setting boundaries, prioritizing health, giving attention to relationships, and making space for reflection. Gratitude is practiced by pausing each day to count blessings, whether big or small. Writing them down, speaking them aloud, or silently reflecting on them rewires the brain to focus on abundance. Over time, this practice transforms your perception so deeply that gratitude becomes your natural state. Balance and gratitude also protect against the endless cycle of desire. The modern world constantly pushes people to want more wealth, more status, more possessions. Without balance, people overextend themselves in pursuit of these goals, and without gratitude, even when they achieve them, satisfaction remains out of reach. By contrast, a person who balances ambition with rest and relationships, and who practices gratitude for what they already have, experiences peace even before reaching greater goals. This peace itself becomes the true success. In the end, fulfillment is not about having everything but about appreciating and balancing what you do have. Balance keeps life steady, gratitude makes it rich, and together they turn ordinary existence into extraordinary experience. With balance, you create harmony across different aspects of living. With gratitude, you fill that harmony with joy. Life becomes less about chasing and more about living. And in that living, you discover that fulfillment was never in some distant future. It was always available in the way you choose to live today. Living in the present moment is one of the most powerful yet overlooked secrets to lasting joy. Most people spend their lives caught between regrets of the past and anxieties about the future, rarely experiencing the fullness of the now. The mind constantly replays old memories, mistakes, or losses, creating feelings of guilt, sadness, or resentment. At the same time, it projects fears and expectations into the future, leading to stress and worry. As a result, the present, the only real time we ever truly have, slips away unnoticed. Yet the present is where life happens, where peace is found, and where joy can be experienced without conditions. When you live in the present, you free yourself from the weight of the past. This does not mean you forget your history but that you no longer let it control your current happiness. The past is unchangeable. No amount of replaying it will alter what already happened. However, the mind clings to past pain, often repeating the same story. Why did this happen to me? What if I had acted differently? These thoughts keep you trapped in suffering. Living in the present allows you to acknowledge the past, learn from it, and release it, so that it does not steal the joy of today. The present moment is fresh, always new, always full of possibilities, but you can only embrace it when you stop dragging yesterday into it. Similarly, living in the present dissolves the anxiety of the future. The future is uncertain and beyond total control. While planning and preparing are wise, obsessively worrying about what if scenarios drains your energy and robs you of peace. People often spend more time fearing future problems than actually facing them when they arrive. The truth is that life gives us the strength to handle challenges when they come, not months or years before. By staying in the present, you live with trust that tomorrow will be handled when it becomes today. This reduces unnecessary stress and makes space for joy now. Joy itself is only available in the present. You cannot truly feel happiness yesterday, nor can you feel it tomorrow. You can only feel it right now. Think of simple pleasures. The taste of food, the sound of laughter, the warmth of the sun. These are only experienced when your mind is here in the moment. If your thoughts are elsewhere, even the most beautiful experiences are missed. For example, a family may sit together for a meal, but if one person is mentally replaying work stress, they will miss the joy of connection at the table. Living in the present means fully engaging with what is happening, however ordinary, and discovering the richness within it. Another reason living in the present unlocks joy is that it quiets the endless voice of dissatisfaction. The mind, when left unchecked, constantly seeks more success, more possessions, more approval. It tells you, I'll be happy when I achieve this, when I buy that, when I become someone else. But that, when, keeps moving further away. Joy is postponed into the future, which never truly arrives. Living in the present interrupts this cycle by teaching you to enjoy what is already here. It shifts focus from lack to abundance, from waiting to experiencing. Joy is no longer a distant destination but a daily reality. Living in the present also strengthens relationships. True connection requires presence. When you give someone your full attention, without distractions, without thinking of what to say next, you create space for genuine intimacy. Most conflicts in relationships come from the failure to listen deeply or from bringing old baggage into current interactions. Being present allows you to meet people as they are now, not as you remember them or fear they will be. This presence communicates respect, care, and love more deeply than any words. When two people are present with each other, even silence feels fulfilling. On a personal level, presence fosters clarity and creativity. When the mind is scattered between past and future, it cannot focus deeply. But in the present, your awareness sharpens. Work becomes more efficient, art becomes more inspired, and solutions to problems emerge more naturally. Athletes, musicians, and artists often describe being in the zone, where they lose track of time and fully immerse in the activity. This state of flow is nothing more than deep presence. It is a space where joy and performance meet, where life feels effortless and alive. Living in the present also nurtures inner peace because it ends unnecessary resistance. Much of human suffering comes from wishing that reality was different than it is. The mind resists. This should not be happening. I should be somewhere else. Life should look another way. Such resistance intensifies pain. But when you stay present, you accept reality as it is in this moment, without judgment. Acceptance does not mean resignation. It means you stop fighting with what already exists, which frees your energy to respond wisely. In this acceptance, peace arises, and peace itself becomes the foundation for lasting joy. Practicing presence requires training because the mind is restless by nature. One simple practice is focusing on the breath. The breath is always happening in the present. By paying attention to it, you anchor yourself in the now. Another practice is mindful observation, fully noticing whatever you are doing, whether eating, walking, or washing dishes. Instead of rushing through, you slow down and bring awareness to the activity. Over time, this builds the habit of living in the moment instead of getting lost in thought. Gratitude is also a powerful gateway to presence. When you pause to appreciate what is before you, your mind automatically settles into the now. You cannot be grateful for yesterday or tomorrow. You can only be grateful now. Gratitude makes the present feel abundant, dissolving the illusion that joy lies elsewhere. For example, simply appreciating the ability to see, hear, or breathe can create a wave of peace and happiness in the moment. It is important to note that living in the present does not mean ignoring responsibility or refusing to plan. It means not letting planning or responsibility consume your current joy. You still prepare for tomorrow, but you live today. You still learn from the past, but you don't carry its weight into now. The present becomes your center, your home, while past and future become tools rather than traps. Ultimately, the reason living in the present unlocks lasting joy is because the present is the only reality. Past and future exist only in thought. They are mental projections. Joy, peace, and love can only be felt where life is happening, here and now. When you awaken to this truth, you stop postponing your happiness. You begin to notice beauty in ordinary details, connect more deeply with others, and find peace even amid challenges. Life becomes richer not because circumstances changed, but because your awareness shifted. The timeless secret is simple. Happiness is not hidden in yesterday or tomorrow. It is waiting patiently in the now, ready to be experienced whenever you choose to fully arrive.